It's every car guy's dream to have their very own racetrack, and for the last 8 months, we've been building ours. And guess what? It's almost finished. Months ago, we announced that we're building our very own drift games drift track called DG Sportsland. And in 8 months, a lot has happened that you haven't seen. And we're 3 weeks from officially opening this track to the public. We've kept it a secret until now because we wanted to give you guys a massive surprise of the progress that we've made. Building your own racetrack, how difficult can it be? Turns out, it's quite difficult. And it's taken us 8 months to get to this very day to tell you what's happened in the last 8 months of challenges and things we didn't expect, but also really, really good progress. But before we get to the present, I want to go back and talk about why and where. So you guys all know that we are building this drift track, DG Sportsland, in Mondello Park. It's actually in the center of the racetrack. And the reason we're building it there, well, it's the only place you can build it because obviously Mondello has a license for motorsport, noise regulations, and all those things already in place. Anywhere where we're going to build it independent of Mondello could have taken 2-3 years of planning alone, and in the end might not have even happened. So this was a surefire bet that we could get cars on track in a very short space of time. But it has taken a little longer than we expected, as I alluded to. Now, we want to build this track for ourselves to make content, but more importantly, we want to build it for the community. We want people to come and have a good time, enjoy it. The main track in Mondello Park is so big and such a vast space that you've got to be fast, you've got to have a high-powered car, but also it's very expensive to rent because you're up against every other motorsport and corporate days as well. This is going to be our own little home where you can come, test, tune, drift, come with your friends, rent it out for smaller amounts of money and have a lot of fun. And that's exactly what it's all about. And for us, well, we also want to have a place where you can make crazier content than we've ever made on the channel before. I'm talking testing, I'm talking challenges, I'm talking Top Gear style stuff that we wouldn't be able to do on the main track because, well, it's a little too fast and a little too dangerous. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Now, in the meantime, well, we did announce in January that we were building this track, and we thought, hey, by June, we'll have this one smashed out. And a lot of things delayed us, and today I'm going to tell you exactly what they were. So how hard can it be? Lay some tarmac, paint some lines, boom, you got yourself a drift track. Well, that's what we thought, but it wasn't as easy as that. The area we're using in Mondello Park, well, the landscaping wasn't perfect. It was essentially going to flood a lot. And the way we wanted to do it was put an entire tarmac section down because we didn't want to be sweeping up gravel and planting grass and all that boring stuff that normal racetracks do. And we also wanted the ability to change the layout every 6 months, so it's a new track all the time. That means a massive slab of tarmac had to be laid down. But because it's Ireland and it rains 70% of the time, we have to make sure that the drainage was really good, or else we're going to turn up to every single drift day and it's just going to be a big, well, pool. So they had to level it all out, put all the gradients in, and it took a lot of time to get that together, and then lay the whole amount of tarmac over the top. On top of that, we needed to build up the banks around it, we needed to push a lot of earth around the place. And Mondello Park had a full season of motorsport going on, so we couldn't just traipse a load of trucks through all their events throughout the year. So as this went on, it just took longer and longer. But we could have rushed it. We wanted this perfect because it might be the only chance we ever get to build a track. And thankfully, now it's looking pretty good. So enough hiding, enough secrets. We're going to show you in this video where we're at 3 weeks before we open this track publicly for our Drift Games Winter Bash, where 150 drivers are going to be on it, and you guys can come down and see it for the first ever time. So it's time to head to Mondello Park, because I think you're going to be blown away with how far we're along. Before we jump to the track and show you guys the progress, we've got some housekeeping to do because back in January we did a mystery bag, and the winner of that mystery bag would be the first person to ever drift Games Sportsland. We've put all of those names into our system, as you can see here, and we're about to draw the winner. So let's see who is going to be the lucky winner who is going to drive the track for the very, very first time, and it is Keen system, so it takes ages and it goes through every single person, and eventually randomly it picks a person, and who is that person going to be? Alfie Hunter, congratulations. You are going to be coming down, driving one of our cars around DG Sportsland for the first time. Okay, now that that's out of the way, let's head to Mondello and show you the progress. So here we are at the entrance to DG Sportsland. It's actually the very center point of the Mondello Park racetrack. You've got the national circuit there, and you've got the international loop here, and we're right in the middle, which is absolutely perfect for noise because it's the furthest away from everybody we could possibly be, which is probably tells you a lot about what we're going to be doing in here. So this is the entranceway, and this is where we started the project. Now, if you guys go way back to the first video where I announced this had a very rough, gravelly central lane up, and we knew that cars had to come in and come out, so we made it into a full tarmac entrance with a left and a right lane so cars can get in and out. Also, let's remember, drift cars are very low, so we had to do some gradual gradients here to make sure that we didn't lose all our bumpers before we actually got to the drifting part. So it's all very, very smooth. On this side, you're going to see the spectator entrance. It's not built yet, but this is all going to be ramps and stairs. Going to be fenced off, so the public go down the right hand side, the cars go down the center, and we're hoping to put a big sign here where it'll say Drift Games Sportsland, and we're kind of toying with the idea that we might put the actual pit truck here so it's like a cool entranceway. But this is just the entranceway. It's time to show you guys all the progress that has been made inside, and up the hill we have DG Sportsland. Progress has been made. Tarmac is now all down, and right now we're putting in the tire bales. Now this was probably the one thing that we didn't think about a lot when we were building this, is how many tire bales we're going to need for safety. So not only do you need tire bales the whole perimeter to avoid the cars going into the banks, but you also need tire bales around the layout because, well, you don't want one car T-boning another car if they're both on the same track. So we had to separate everything, and we had to double stack those tires so those tire bales couldn't be moved. There's thousands of tires here, and you would think, we're drifters, tires are easy, but in this day and age, recycling came in. Goddamn recycling. Meaning that people were getting paid for their used tires, which ruined us. So we have tires here from the Irish Drift Series, we have tires here from Jaffest, we have tires here from Drift Masters, we have tires from everywhere we could find them in the country, and we're still needing more, and Adam is doing like 10 runs a day with tires just to finish off the last few sections. And that's what I want to talk about, this entranceway, which again you're going to need to visualize a little bit. This is our pre-grid, so this area here up to this sort of split in the tarmac here is all pre-grid. So the entrance of the track is going to be down there and to the right. We've got a corner where we're going to put our recovery vehicle and our ambulance, and then this whole section is kind of queuing and pre-grid. This is your exit from the track. So sort of an American entrance, I think, because we're on the wrong side of the road for Ireland, but everyone's going to leave on this side and come in this way. So it's going to be kind of a... Actually, that doesn't make sense. It is left-hand side of the road that we're on, isn't it? It's been a long build. Anyway, this section here is going to have concrete blocks, so this is going to be able to be sort of a wall run area, but this is also to protect the pre-grid from the track. Concrete will be going in, I think, next week, and they're like kind of walls this high. You'll see them. They've been run many times. They're actually the same walls that have been used at every single drift event in Mondello for the last 10 years. So the walls that we're putting in have been hit by Nakamura and Saito and James Dean and all those guys. So a little bit of history in the walls, which also means they need to be painted because they're wrecked. But we will do that next week. The layout has changed a little since you guys saw it. We decided that we were going to remove the wall that was sort of a run into the track and make the track a little bit bigger for more drifting. So we've hired Kieran Hines, and if you guys don't know who Kieran Hines is, he's the longest serving drift judge in the world, and he's a good friend of ours. He's done all of our tracks for 10 years. So we gave him the space and he came up with this layout. I'm sure you guys can see it better. It's roughly from the drone what we're going to do. So the idea now is to put all the tire bales in, then we obviously mark out permanently all of the white lines, and then we're going to put some more paint beyond that. I don't know if you guys have seen Oman Championship where they paint the track quite nicely, so it looks like a racetrack, and we'll actually have it very defined so it'll look good. One of the big things we want here is that it doesn't look like a big slab of tarmac, it looks like a racetrack, so the paint is going to do a lot for that. So it's going to be kind of a long process to get that done in the next 3 weeks, but it'll really suit the place. I think it's going to look really, really cool, and I like it because, well, it's got branding. It's going to have like a feel and a vibe to it. And one of the reasons that we can do that is all of this fencing that's on the exterior, which goes to the main racetrack, we are putting 6 and 7 foot branding on. So you're not going to be able to actually see Mondello Park when you're inside DG Sportsland, meaning it's got like its own vibe, its own aura. It's not like just in the middle of a racetrack, it's just its own place. So that's what we wanted for the spectators and all that kind of stuff. Over here is our next issue, power. And we need power because we got a tower. So as you can see, we've put 2 containers on top of each other. The top container is going to be modified to be a judging tower, and it's going to be kind of a full open side so you can see out and kind of judge all the cars are in here. We're going to run a lot of different competitions in here. And then the lower container is essentially supplies for the track, the granules for the oil, the sweeping brushes, all that kind of stuff. So we need to build the stairs, we need to do windows, and I don't even know, Neil's going to be doing that. So when he's finished with the R32 Skyline, he's going to be coming over here to do that, and hopefully we have that ready in time for our winter bash. This is the power supply. So our friend Gary Dunnis had a look at this, and he said the only thing accurate about it is the sign, which is danger high voltage, because nobody has used this in about 10 years, 15 years, so we don't know. So he's going to come over and try and take the power from here and run it straight to the tower. And then Kieran Hines is also taking all of these horns on the edge of the track, so these are for the racetrack. We're inwards, and we're going to run an amplifier in the container. So essentially, when you come in here to run an event, or if you want to rent it for a private event, you're just flicking on an amplifier and you've got a microphone, flick on the lights in the tower, and you're ready to drift. And that's the whole point of why we did one piece of tarmac, which cost us, I'm going to tell you, it cost us €115,000 just to tarmac it. And we could have had just the track and had no, let's say, have grass on the edges, or gravel or whatever, but I was thinking, the sweeping we'd have to do with gravel, and then all the grass that keep getting cut up. The reason we like it like this is because we could always just change this to a different layout down the line, so it can, we get bored of it after 6 months or a year, redo it all again. Now, putting containers in on this bank was a little bit more challenging than we thought, because the bank was very, it was just landfill. It was just stuff that was pushed to the side. It's fine for like somebody standing on it, but obviously the rabbits had also gone through it quite a lot of times, making it quite unstable. So our friend Gavin Coffey came in, and he actually leveled all this, filled it in, built us a foundation for the containers, and now they're super safe, especially when you're stacking 2 on top of each other. I think it looks really cool, and we're going to dress all this up. That's going to be kind of the last week, is kind of making it look cooler, but the fundamentals are here. Now, in the middle of the track, you can see Adam O'Connor. This has been a lot of work to get all these tires here, because a lot of tires were deposited here at events, but we didn't have enough. So now we're running around the country, pulling them out of silage bales and pulling them out of drifters' garages and stuff. So it's been a bit time consuming over the last couple of months to get them all here, but we're making progress. The layout to me is perfect, because what we wanted with this track was not to be the fastest or the biggest venue in the world, because let's be honest, we have Mondello Park for that. This is about tight tandem. This is about any car can chase any car, and we wanted it to be something you could stack up 4 or 5 cars in a train that's not super dangerous and everybody can stay close. So it's a nice tight technical circuit. It's not so wide that it's wayward and you can go wherever you want, and it's not too tight that you can't make it work if you're a beginner. So we did a lot of time and thinking on how to make this place exactly how we wanted it to be, and so far so good. I think it actually looks really good, and it actually would, believe it or not, the main straight on the way into the first corner is not too dissimilar in width to actually Mondello Park. So we could have made it way more intricate with way more corners, but it would have been really tight, like a tiny go-kart track. So we tried to find the balance between that go-kart track feel of, a 350Z can do it perfectly in a competition, but also have a bit of speed and a bit of fun. So you can throw big angle down to the first corner and big angle into the hairpins, and that's what we want it to be. So this is kind of where we're at the moment. There's still a lot of work to be done, and we have 3 or 4 things going on at the one time. So obviously, with everything at Drift Games, there is a deadline, and deadlines mean things happen. A lot of people say, why do you rush all these things? Well, we find that you get a lot more done when you have a finish line than a never-ending project, which is, I'm sure if you're a car guy will know, if you're doing an hour or 2 a week, that takes years. If you do all of the hours in a day, you get it done very quickly. So the deadline for this is the November Winter Bash, which is on the 13th and 14th of November. Tickets are on sale now on mondellopark.ie, and we have 150 driver spots already sold out. Those guys are going to be the first public drivers to use this circuit, which we're really excited about. But also, at that event, for the public, this will all be fenced off. You can actually come and watch for the first time this track being used live yourself, which is really, really cool. And we have loads of cool guests coming to that event as well. And we have a load of cars to fix. So we technically have 3. You guys will have seen the R32 Skyline that we pulled out of a hedge that needed a full engine rebuild. That's going on at the moment. And we're going to get that car ready. Josh is going to be driving that at the Drift Games Winter Bash. I'm going to be driving the 400Z, which also has many problems, including steering, because it's electronic steering and lane assist and all sorts of funky stuff. We'll get to that. And the MX-5 needs an engine put back in. And we've got some other bits of surprise cars as well that we're going to be bringing to us. So we want to do a lot of driving at the event and a lot of passenger rides. You guys can come for a spin with us on Sportsland. How cool is that? That's what we wanted to do. So that event is going to be wild, but we have 3 weeks to get it all done. And right now, to get those 3 cars and this track completely done is a very, very big ask. But the boys are ready. We're splitting the team up, and hopefully Drift Games Sportsland, the next time you see it, will look even better than it does now. We could have waited until it was all finished to put this video together, but it's been 8 months and we haven't told you anything, and a lot has happened. And I'm really proud of how far we've come so far, especially because we're a small brand. We're not just able to build a racetrack like, you know, we're not Laguna Seca or Yas Marina. This is for us, for the community, for us to have a lot of fun with our friends. And I think it's going to be a really big addition to the Irish drift scene as well, to have this here for testing, tuning and everything else for people pre-season, but also winter series for lower horsepower cars, and making our own events much more exciting. Technically, we're going to have 4 tracks going at the one time at the Drift Games Winter Bash, which is like getting to Ebisu levels, which we never imagined would happen in Ireland. So super proud of everybody supporting those events and the fact that we were able to do this. And before I finish this video, I want to give a massive thank you to Mondello Park, who have been helping us side by side to put this together. There is no other international race circuit in the world that'll answer the phone when you talk about an idea like this and say yes, but they have believed in drifting so much and built it over the last few years that they're helping us every step of the way here. And I think we're all going to come together very proudly in 3 weeks' time to see something that was nothing and just a gravel car park turn into somewhere that's going to put smiles on faces for years to come. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it is a short update, it could be flashier, but there's so much going on I wanted to show you guys. And let us know in the comments what you think so far. And I know you guys on a setup course are going to start putting the changes to this track straight away, and we really appreciate that as well, so we can test before it's finished. And congratulations, as always, to our winner of the first drive of the track. So it's going to be a very fun 3 weeks. I'm looking forward to it. I know it's not talking in this video, but a lot has been done. And I really wanted to get you guys up to speed because we have a monumental task ahead of us. So stay tuned to the content. If you haven't hit subscribe already, hit it now because it costs nothing and it really helps us on the channel. Give us a comment, give us a like. Sometimes when it's the dark days and the rain, it cheers us up to see your comments and keeps us motivated. And thank you again for watching. We'll see you on the next one. How sturdy is the containers, Adam? Adam, this is definitely the most miserable job of the whole build, getting the tyres. How many tyres is the whole place?
Well, that centre section to this centre section is close to 1,000.
So in total it's probably
5,000.
5,000 tyres.
Probably, because they're 5 or 6 high, 3 deep on the walls, and then the centre section is all like 1,000, so it has to be close to 5,000 tyres.
And every 5,000 has to be hand placed.
Hand placed.
And then bolted together. Yes. And then after, a lot of guys probably don't realise that we're putting conveyor on these, which is like you see over there. So it basically
smooth edge.
Smooth edge.
It doesn't look like a tyre wall. Now, if we put branding on it, it won't be as bad, but.
And we're going to paint that entire thing as well, which looks cool but miserable as well because it's a lot.
Torturous.
It's like a kilometre of conveyor.
Yeah. Like as I say, the inside of every tyre is covered in
rain.
Not even rain, that's
sludge.
Stagnant water from Mondello's bushes for 10 years.
Yeah.
I've got it in my mouth, I've got it in my hands, I've got it in my arse at this point.
So for the first time this year, we have more tyres than Tyre Streets.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Because we've actually, but they're all useless because they're all.
To be fair, there's some 19s over there that I would definitely put back on the road.
Well, not now.
Yeah, not now, but like there's a few of them you're like, look at the other one, look at that, that's a fancy one. Like, and
I've seen Josh Holdsworth drive around with a lot less than that now, to be fair. The problem is that like we would use Accelera 651s, but they don't wear quick enough, so we'd never get through 5,000. The people would be driving forever, and we'd never get them.
We bought 20 a couple of years ago, and we haven't got through.
Yeah, we still have them. They do a whole day on a set of tyres. This is what you want: terrible tyres that people actually use on the road and that are done. But they have a second life now, Adam. They have a second life. We have recycled them into.
Passed my life onto them.
Yes, we've definitely ruined your life, but we've recycled the life of the tyres, which is a nice touch.